Okay, I wanted to show you guys something here. I've got this simple piece of fabric from Walmart, and it's a Christmas snowman fabric. And what I'm doing is I just went ahead and put some of it here in this little paint tray, and I've got my little paintbrush, and I'm just going over just the parts of the snowman, like his face and his body, and right where his arms are, and I'm leaving the rest of the fabric without glitter. And this is going to make these snowmen like really stick out here. Alright, so I've just finished putting my holographic glitter paint onto the snowmen here, and so to really kind of set it in, I like to just run the iron over it, and of course use your pressing cloth as you do that. And then once we're done with that, we are going to kind of stiffen this fabric up by adding another fabric to the back, and then we're going to gloss it up by adding some vinyl to the front. So this is what we need here. I've got the iron-on clear vinyl. I've got the iron-on heat bond, so that you can have fabrics stick to each other. And then I've also got this canvas type stiff fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby to just give it some stiffness so it'll hold its bow shape. So we are going to start with putting on the heat bond onto this piece of fabric so that we can stick our stiffener to the back of it. Alright, so first I gotta make sure that this is cut to size so this won't stick to my ironing pad here. Okay, so now we're gonna turn this over, make sure it's lined up good, and we are going to iron this. Oh, let me turn off the steam. You want to put it on medium heat without steam, and you want to press it on for at least 8 seconds. Once you got that done, you're going to go ahead and peel off the backing. If I can get it. It's not always easy to try to separate that. Okay, so I'll pull that off here. Now we're going to take our stiff fabrics and go ahead and iron that to it. And we're going to flip it over here and do the other side just to make absolute sure that it's going to stick well. And I use a pressing cloth religiously because it really helps, for one, to keep your ironing board or ironing pad from having all kinds of stuff on it, like the sticky stuff. And then for two, it keeps your iron from sticking to your fabrics or melting things that you don't necessarily want melted. So just a couple pieces of cotton fabric like I've got here is perfect for a pressing cloth. So okay, so you can choose to keep it just like this if you want to work with it like this. It's got enough stiffness that you could turn it into a bow and it will hold its shape. But I like to go a step further and make it look like faux leather by using this clear iron-on vinyl. And we've got it cut to size already, so I'm going to peel off the vinyl and put the sticky side down on the top here. And then we're going to use our pressing cloth and iron over it. Never touch this vinyl with your iron, it will melt. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that right there. Kind of smooth it out. It's got a slight stickiness to it so that it can kind of hold its place. And then you take the piece of paper that you just pulled off of there and put it over it with the shiny side down. And I like to go an extra step and use my pressing cloth on top of that. And then you just same thing, medium heat with no steam, and iron over it until it sticks, usually about 8 seconds or so. And then just to make sure, you can flip it over and iron the back side too. And then we'll have a nice glossy finished fabric that is basically like a faux leather. And you can see that it's nice and shiny here. And I'm just going to do the back side too, just to make absolute sure that my vinyl's not going to come off. Alright, there we go. So now we've got our piece of faux leather. You can see that it's shiny and it has glitter around the snowman. It's a nice stiff fabric so that it will hold its shape when I turn it into a bow by using a bow template. And that's all there is to it, to making any fabric you want into a kind of faux leather that you can use to make bows. Just to let you know, you can go a step further on this, and instead of adding the canvas, you could add a different kind of fabric that kind of color coordinates with the front. It won't be quite as stiff, but that's okay. Or you can keep this canvas on, put another layer of the heat bond on there, and then add whatever fabric you would like to the back. So that way, if you do have a bow where maybe some of the back kind of shows, let's say, then it'll look good no matter which side you're looking at. For example, I have a fabric here that's sparkly, and if I had a big enough piece, I could heat bond that to this side. So then I have this side and that side. You could also put vinyl on this side too if you want, but most of the time it's absolutely not necessary. And also, you don't have to put the vinyl on the front side either if you don't want to. If you just want to keep it as fabric, that's fine. Now, let this be a lesson to you here, because I obviously see that this happens at times. When this is still warm, if you're kind of messing around with it and you stretch it and then you put it back, it'll crinkle, but there's a really easy way to fix that. You just put your press cloth down and you just go back over it really quick with the iron, and it'll kind of shrink itself back into place where it's supposed to be. See? No wrinkles. And then you can let it cool down all the way, and then usually once you have your template cut out and you're ready to bend it, you're gluing it so it'll stay that way. So that won't happen. But if you find that you're working with it and you see that it's kind of wrinkling, just put your press cloth over it and iron it back out again. It's super simple as that. Okay, so we got our other piece of fabric done where we put the vinyl, the iron-on vinyl on there and stuff. And now we're going to make a contrasting faux leather. But we're going to do this one a little different, so I can show you another technique. So how we're going to do this one is, I've got some of this premium Decoupage glue, the glossy one. You can also use Mod Podge, either one works. And you can use either the fabric glitter paints, or you can use just the Folk Art Extreme Glitter series. I like the hologram one myself. Either one is fine. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to take this glitter and I'm going to paint it across here over the whole thing, just a nice kind of thin layer just to give it a little bit of a sparkle. And then I'm going to let that dry a little and then go over the whole piece with this premium Decoupage. And what that's going to do, I've actually got a piece that's done. And what it's going to do is give this a really interesting look here. As you can see, on this one I used the glitter, the fabric paint one, in the silver, and hopefully you can see the difference here. This one has got a super high shiny gloss, and this one actually has just a semi-gloss, more like a satin kind of look, and it actually does give off more of a look of actual like leather rather than pleather like this one does. So it's just a little bit different of a look. I have not added on my backing or anything to this yet. All I would do is just add that same stiff fabric to the back of it with the double-sided heap on. And so I'll do that and just follow the same instructions as before doing this one, except instead of putting the vinyl over top, you can use the decoupage glue, or you can do the vinyl too if you like. It just depends on how you want it to look. I just wanted to show you a different kind of technique to give you some options of what else you can actually do with fabric when all you're using it for is to make hair bows. So I'm going to go ahead and iron on the backing to this, and then we'll get started on cutting out our templates. Okay, the next step is we're going to cut out our patterns. As you can see, I have already ironed on my heat bond as well as the stiffened fabric like we did on the other one, and this is all dry with the Mod Podge or the decoupage glue over top of the fabric paint glitter. So I'm going to cut out the round ones in this red and white striped fabric here, and then I'm going to cut these two out of the snowman one. So these templates you can find in the link in the comments, and it'll take you to my website where you can download the PDF or change or save the picture, or however you want to do it, but the templates will be there for you. So just I just use a colored pencil just in case you're wondering. You can use any kind of fabric marking pen, or just use a colored pencil too, depending on what kind of fabric you're drawing on. You can get away with using the pencil more often than not. And then we're gonna cut them out as soon as we're done getting them all traced. So go ahead and do that, and I'll get mine cut out, and then we will go on to the next step. Okay, I'm just cutting out the very last piece here, and I just wanted to show you how if you use like a colored pencil or something like that, you can just cut right inside the line here so that you won't see the lines on your finished project there. Anyways, okay, so we've got all our pieces now, and we are going to be using our glue gun at this point, and we are going to take this one, and we're going to take this other one here, and we're going to put them together like this so that it wraps around it, and then this will go onto the back. And so what we need to do first is we need to go ahead and glue this one down. So just put your glue right in the middle here with your hot glue gun, and then hold that down like that. And then do the same to the other side. And try not to squish these down so that they keep their form and everything. When you package them, you got to be really careful when you package your bows so that they don't get crushed. They still look okay even when they're flat, but they just look so much better when they have their curve to them. So now we're going to take this one, and we're going to start by gluing it right there in the center. So we're going to stick that down in there like that, and then we're going to take it and wrap it around this one and glue it on the back. And we're going to do the same with the other side. just kind of wrap it around back here and just glue that down. Okay. Oops. Just touch that with glue on my hand, so, but that's okay. Those kind of things are fairly easy to fix. Okay. So we've got that part down, and now we're going to go ahead and glue it onto the back part. So we're just going to put a drop of glue right in the center there and stick it there. So now you can see it looks continuous, like this goes and just comes out like that, and it gives it a really cool look. Okay, so I did find my piece that I used for this part, and I'm going to now make the center piece by using some of this, so it has a really cute look. So you just want to cut it, you can kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but just well enough to kind of sit in that middle section there. And then I'll show you how you can put this around your backing. Okay, so I've got the backing here, and what I'm going to do is get my glue gun again here, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue on here and stick it to the center. You can also wrap these partially or wholly in like grosgrain ribbon back here, so a lot of people do that if you want. Okay, so we take this piece, we're just going to put a dab of glue on the end part there and open our clip and stick it right in there. Kind of stick it down in there and let that hold it, and then we're just going to wrap it around here. Make sure we get it kind of laying down flat and even, and then you come back around and you're just going to trim it and then put some glue on that end, open up the clip and stick it down there. And as you can see, you don't want to like hold your bow like this because you'll crush it, so you'll see that I put my hand inside of it like this to work with the clip there. So, and you can also put some fabric, like if you wanted to take this fabric and put it to the back of here so it looks nice on the back too. You don't really much see the back, but you know, everybody has their preferences of how they like things to look. And that's how you do the double bow.